Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over my pages from October in my bullet journal, and then I'm going to show you guys how I set up my month of November. So the month of October was mainly just me working on midterms and projects, so I haven't really even been able to embrace the fall season. So this month I wanted to start out by decorating my desk and kind of getting everything in the fall mood. But yeah, so you'll see this month I don't have a ton of exciting pages to show you, but I'll show you guys what I have, and then we'll get into planning the month of November. And those were all the pages I had from October. So now I'm going to show you guys how I set up my month of November. So I'm just going to start out by getting a piece of watercolor paper, and then I'm going to get all of my watercolor supplies out like usual. This time I'm just going to be using a bunch of different watercolor tubes that are all kind of like fall colors. So I got some oranges, some browns, a raw sienna, and then alizarin crimson. And then I got out some brushes that I'm going to use, and I'm ready to start painting. So I'm going to take this big flat brush and I'm going to go in with a mixture of some of the colors, but I'm going to keep it more kind of like a reddish ochre color on the top, and then I'm going to bring that down and kind of make it more orange toward the bottom. But yeah, I'm just bringing that color down, and I'm kind of going for a ombre kind of gradient effect, and so I'm just doing those swiping motions horizontally until I get the kind of texture and color that I want. For the colors and the texture, I was inspired by the beautiful red rock in Antelope Canyon in Arizona, so I kind of went with that first, and then I am going to add some trees to my painting. So last fall I did a birchwood theme for my October spread, and I really liked it, and I've always wanted to kind of try to recreate it in a different way. So I'm just doing these birchwood trees with my bleed-proof white paint, which I'll have all of these supplies and everything linked below for you guys. But this is one of my favorite white paints to use when it comes to using white paint with watercolor. So that is what I'm using, and I'm just doing a couple of trees. I'm not going to do too many, but just enough to kind of get the feeling that you're in a kind of birchwood forest. And if you notice, I'm making some of the trees more prominent, whereas the ones in the background I want to go in with a more light wash of white. So I'm going to pick up a lot more water on those trees than the ones that are in the forefront. And now I'm picking up my gold jelly roll, and I'm going to create the little ridges that you see normally in birchwood trees. If you notice, when you look at birchwood trees, the ridges kind of look like eyes sometimes. So I am doing some of those as a little ridge pattern in my tree, and then others I just have little lines. For the trees that are farther out in the distance, I'm just going in with my finger, and I'm going to kind of tap the little ridges that I'm making afterwards so that they're a little bit more washed out and not as prominent. And now I'm just gonna take my white jelly roll and do some highlighting on the trees. And this will kind of bring out the roundedness of the tree instead of it being a flat object. Now that I'm done with the trees, I'm going to go in with my white Posca paint pen marker, and I wanted to kind of add some little snowflakes and stars. Since we're right in the middle of fall and winter, I wanted to kind of combine the two seasons, so I thought this would be the perfect way to do that. Now that I'm done adding in my stars and snowflakes, I'm going to take my Fine Tech Gold paint palette and I'm going to go for that moon gold color. And I'm just going to add some more little stars and specks everywhere just to give it kind of like a shiny effect. And obviously this is my favorite gold out of the palette. I use this all the time, and I actually just had to rebuy another one because it's almost gone. But it's just the perfect kind of champagne color. That is my perfect color to use for stars. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take my Posca white paint pen marker again, and I'm going to go in and add just some little ferns and just little flowers to the bottom of the birchwood trees. And now I am fully done with my painting. So to add the month and the calendar to my painting, I scanned it and I sent it to my iPad. And I'm using the app called Procreate to just do the lettering atop my painting. So I'm just going in with the Studio brush pen that comes with Procreate. I've made a few tweaks to the pen just to make it a little bit more smooth and the correct size that I want in my lettering. So maybe at some point I'll share that pen with you guys. I don't know how I'll do that, but I'll find a way to figure that out. And maybe I'll put it in my lettering video or something. But yeah, now I'm just printing out my finished calendar and I'm just cutting it with my paper cutter, and then I'm going to paste that into my journal. I almost forgot I have to redo the gold on the stars in my painting, so I'm just going to go in with a jelly roll to make it a little bit quicker. And this one is very similar to the champagne color that I use in my Fine Tech palette. It's kind of like a champagne-y gold, so I just did that, and now I can paste it in my journal alongside my important date section. And I'm just using a important date section that I did from a couple months ago when I did my butterfly theme. I thought it fit the kind of fall November theme perfectly. I will have both of these calendars in my shop by the time the video goes up. So if you're interested in getting it for your bullet journal for this month or any other month, I'll have that in my shop, and also I'll try to do a digital download for the month of November. Alright, so now we are going to start setting up my month of November in the planning section. So I am going to do a goals page for this month because I have a lot of goals for this month that I really wasn't able to accomplish last month. It really does help me to kind of write them down and be able to reference the page later on in the month, because in a few days I'll honestly probably forget even what my goals were for that month, so it's nice to kind of have them all in one place to reference back to during the month. And then on the right side, I'm going to do a ideas section for everything that I have ideas for during the month, whether that be for my shop, for just school, for life. I'm just going to keep all of it here. And now I'm going to start planning out my first week of November. On the right side, I wanted to do a little drawing / painting, so I took this watercolor paper that I painted on earlier and I just pasted that in on the right side. And then on the left side, I'm using this new pen that I got. It's in kind of like an ochre color, and it's called the Pentel Feud Touch pens, I believe. I got it in black and ochre, and I am loving it for doing lettering. And then with my Ecoline watercolor brush pens, I'm going to go in with that lightest color that I have and do some birchwood trees to match the theme for this month. I've been loving these pens lately just to add some pops of color and to do some art in my journal. The pens aren't my favorite, to be honest, for lettering, but I really enjoy them for doing art, and they kind of have that same watercolor effect that you get when you're painting. So it's just a really easy way to kind of add like a watercolor effect to your drawings without having to actually take out your brushes and your paints and water. So yeah, I've just been really loving these lately. And now I'm just going to go in with that same gold Jelly Roll pen and add some stars. And then on the right side, I'm actually going to do kind of like a little pumpkin drawing. I wanted to add something fall themed, and I really liked the little pumpkins that I did in my last month's pages, so I'm doing kind of like a bigger version of them. And now that I'm done with the shading, I'm going to take my Uniball white gel pen and I'm going to add that kind of floral pattern to my pumpkin. I got some pumpkins the other weekend that I am really wanting to turn into kind of a floral pattern like these. So if I end up doing that, maybe I'll post a little video on my Instagram or here. I'm not sure yet, but I think it would be really fun to do. But anyways, this is the portion of the painting where it starts to become a fail. I didn't like the lettering that I did on my painting, so I tried to go over it with this really bad white acrylic paint that didn't work. And so instead I just pasted some craft paper over it, so that way you can't see that huge mess that just ensued. But yeah, and then I just took out my little laser ruler and I lettered pumpkin season with my white pen, and this is how my spread turned out. And that is all I have for my planning of November. I hope you guys enjoyed following along with me, and I hope you guys are able to possibly get a little bit of inspiration from it for your journal. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to put out many more videos very soon now that my midterms are over. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.